This is KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar, brought to you by Con Communications. This is KHQA. It's your news now.
Well, this is Saturday, May the 19th, and you have entered Overtime, where today we are all about the business of crowning champions, and business is unbelievably good. We will get you your fair share of diamond highlights from this regional championship Saturday, enriched by a pair of no-hitters, a towering home run, some spectacular defensive gems, and a dash of controversy by way of Macomb, all for good measure. But we start our journey in the city of Jefferson with the quest for state track and field titles, where we had both long-awaited breakthroughs and a three-peat repeat winner for you. How does it get any better than that? We're talking, of course, about Mike Grindy out of Monroe City, two-time state champion, trying to clear 15 feet, already knows he's tied for first. He didn't wait for gravity to take root before he started celebrating. Look at it again in slow motion. He told us earlier this year, Mike said, all I want to do is clear 15 feet. Grindy does exactly that. And look at the celebration midair. Three-time state champion and a top 10 finish as a freshman to go along with it. Congratulations, Mike. Monroe City not done yet. Carly Spalding, or as we call her, by Carly, the first of 3 state championships today, right here in the long jump. She also won the 100 and anchored the leg of the 100, the 4x100 that won. You're also looking at Louisiana's Nakia Shepard blowing everyone away in the 400, running a 58.45 to get her first state championship as well. So you have Carly Spalding and Nakia Shepard both finally breaking through for those state championships that they so desperately wanted. Congratulations to both. Tell you what, it was a huge day all the way around in Jefferson City. Other state champions today included in Class 1, Kaylin Spratt out of Marion County breaking through and getting that big win in the 300-meter hurdles. Meanwhile, Austin Hardy, man, what a great 800 lap he ran today, or pair of laps, I should say, going in 1:57 to take a state championship there. And also, for the first time since 1982 in any sport, Knox County has a state champion to crow about. It is Kelsey Cahalan, who runs that 800. Boy, we had 3 800 winners all the way around. Not too shabby, folks, for a state championship. And the Monroe City girls, as I mentioned, that 4x100 meter relay team, a state champion as well. Other notables to pass along today, second place finishes included the Palmyra 4x2. Also, Randy Lee Plunkett, who finished second in the 800 meter to the aforementioned Kelsey Cahalan. So the Tri-States goes 1-2 right there. Also, Randy Lee Plunkett, part of the 4x8 that took second place, and Randy Lee on her own took third place in the high jump. Very productive weekend for that young lady as well. Elsewhere, we can tell you about Sam Berlasky from Mark Twain, a third place finish in the 2-mile, while Lauren Yeager out of Clopton took fourth place in the triple jump. All fine finishes there as well. Also, some notables to pass along. Evie Miles in the 100-meter hurdles from Palmyra took 6th place. Leighton McCabe, great showing, 2 top 10 finishes for the Knox County senior. Ryan Mays, Skylar Baird, both of South Shelby with great finishes as well. Congratulations to everyone in Northeast Missouri. Now, I told you yesterday, this has been a very good weekend for area shot putters. Now we actually have a Tri-State Slam working with the state championship in that event in Iowa, Missouri, and thanks to Rushville Industries' Megan Lazon today, Illinois as well. Megan threw 43 feet 9 inches this morning to claim her state title. Bushnell, Prairie City, Avon's Madison Benson also took 9th place in 1A shot put to boot. And just because we don't want to talk about the present, the future, bright for Tri-State shot putting as well. Congratulations to Miss Allison Torrance of Macomb Junior High, who yesterday in the IHSA state meet won her 2nd straight state championship, throwing 33.10. Oh, shot putters, we're growing them by leaps and bounds in this area. Congratulations to all. Back at the varsity high school meet today, also some fine finishes for the Illini West relay teams. The 4x1 finishes 3rd. The 4x2 finishes 5th. Ashley Thomas goes in 3rd place today in the pole vault. Megan Lazon, as I mentioned, also not only good in the shot put, top 12 in the disc today. And your highest finisher beyond Megan was Haley Calvert, who ended up finishing 2nd in the triple jump. Again, congratulations to all in Illinois. And we're not done yet. Congratulations to the pride of Keokuk. Not only is he a fantastic defensive back, but Darian Sanders can run a little bit as well. Took 7th in the 200 meter, 9th in the 100 meter sprint, and 6th place today in the long jump, even though he had a bit of an off day in the long jump. Congratulations to Mr. Sanders as well for his fine showing. Well, to softball now, where the regular season meeting between Quincy Notre Dame and West Hancock turned out to be an absolute thriller. Round 2, just as much fun today. We start you off with Haley Hamill right here, starting things off for the Titans with a single right back up the middle. But QD plays some heads-up defense right here. Allison DeWald trying to lay down the bunt, but there's Bailey Gengenbacher getting the lead runner. That's why she's going to Culver Stockton. They love her defense at third. She's good. And then she'd set the table right here, reaching on a single with no outs, eventually advancing to third base. That allows Cassidy Gengenbacher to step to the plate, bring her home with a sac fly. It's the cousin act right here. Made it 1-0 at that point. More Q&D defense, top of the second. Jenny Pollock coming up strong right here at second base, turning the 4-3 double play, thwarting any kind of Titan comeback at this point. Bottom of the second, wild pitch by Miss DeWald is going to allow another run to score for Q&D, this time courtesy of Ariel Gengenbacher, who's going to come home, make it 2-0 Q&D. Q&D getting scrappy in the early innings. They need those runs. They build them and sit on them in this game. Top of the third, now 3-0. How about this? Hamill, though, with the single right there. That allows Miss DeWald to step to the plate. She would follow with an RBI double, get her team back into this one, close the Titans to within 3-1, trying to make that comeback. Unfortunately for the Titans, Cassidy Gengenbacher hit a home run to dead-away center field, made it a 4-1 lead, and Q&D was not giving up. The Lady Raiders get the win today by the final count in this one of 4-1. Up next for the Quincy Notre Dame Lady Raiders, a trip to Duck Country. A Duck dynasty, if you will. Stanford Olympia will be awaiting. That game takes place on Wednesday at 4:30. The Raiders versus Stanford Olympia. That should be a dandy game as well. Unfortunately, the news is not good in 2A for Alani West, who led for much of this game against Canton. And the Chargers just couldn't finish the D today as Canton comes back, gets the victory, and ends Alani West's fine season 7-5 was your final there. How about the rubber match today between Payson Seymour and Liberty? Came with the highest stakes of all. Loser go home in this one from the start. The Indians practicing the ancient and deadly art of Chai-Bo. Cheyenne Bowman right there working it as she had strikeouts to end the first inning. Meanwhile, answering back, Mackenzie Bike. We're scoreless after the first. Cheyenne Bowman just really, really good. So too, as you see, Mackenzie Bike, both pitching well early. Miss Bowman, though, locked in right here. She K'd 8 of the first 9 batters she would face. Cheyenne getting it done. The only blemish, an error against her second baseman on a dropped ball on a routine fly. Still, she was cruising. Meanwhile, pick it up in the bottom of the second. How about life getting difficult for Mackenzie Bike right here as it's Kaylee Gregg who hits one to the fence, and that, my friends, is going to put Payson Seymour on the board 1-0. Still Cheyenne Bowman just working from that point. She's really good. Usually give her a lead, and she's downright deadly. A perfect game almost, other than that drop ball, a no-hitter, though, for her. Leading off the third, though, this was your blast of the game. Kristen Luce, who had 3 hits on the day, going to leave the yard and leave no doubt about this one. Kristen Luce solo homer. That, my friends, started off a huge, huge torrent of runs from Payson Seymour. They smelled blood in the water, and they never gave back up. As I mentioned, Cheyenne Bowman with a no-hitter today. Just 1 drop ball away from a perfect game, and Payson Seymour is going to move on to the sectional, beating Liberty 10-0, and leaving no doubt about it, is the 3rd straight regional title for the Indians, and the 3rd straight one they've won at Liberty's expense. Up next for Payson Seymour, a trip to Abingdon and a showdown with a really good Orion team. That's coming up on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Going to be a tough road to hoe, but with Cheyenne Bowman going and the offense kind of running nicely right now, Carl Asbury's team in really good stead at this point. To Triopia we go, where thankfully the football players are really good football players because interpretive dance, not so much their thing. Elizabeth Wearies, however, quick-stepping her way through Western's lineup like she was Ginger Rogers today. Strikeout after strikeout by Miss Elizabeth. That's Elizabeth with an S. She should be spelling it with a K as good as she was today. Her defense was a bit shaky early in opposition, Rachel Motley, but she was good. Motley with a strikeout right here. As I mentioned, though, her defense giving up a couple of unearned runs, and that was detrimental in this one. Routine fly ball just absolutely falls in the middle of nobody, and that's not good because on the ensuing possession, or in the ensuing at bat, I should say, Sydney Meyer is going to hit the fielder's choice, and Western's going to throw this ball away, and that's going to allow the very quick Carly Sides to come home, make it 3-0 at that point. To steal one from the great Otis Redding, young girls, they will get wearied. And again, Elizabeth Weary's really, really good. As I mentioned, she had a no-hitter, did give up an unearned run, but the no-hitter stands up and stands up nicely. Great defense, though, right here by Jessica Grammer. from Western, but that was about the lone highlight for Western today as Triopia rolls past Western 3-1, courtesy of that Elizabeth Weary's no-hitter. Good for her. Up next for the Trojans, a showdown with Springfield Calvary at the Calhoun sectional. That game takes place Thursday at 4:30. We've got more for you. Let us talk some baseball today. Illini West Macomb going at it. Chargers already up 1-0, but Macomb threatening. Runner at third. Look at Peyton Porter, freshman, getting it done, throwing down to third and showing off the cannon. Oh, you can tell the coach's sons, they're always well-trained. Meanwhile, top of the fourth, Evan McGaffey. He's been on a tear lately. This ball hit like a rip double to left field. Good effort by Andrew Baker. Couldn't come up with it. McGaffey ended up at third on a bunt with 2 outs. Nick Hiley going to do what Nico does. Getting out of a jam, finds his way, and that is just really good defense behind him. Stifles that rally. Illini West still, my friends, at this point up 1-0. We're going to pick it up in the top of the fifth. Game tied at 1. Caleb Speakermeyer with a single to left, but a great barehanded grab by the aforementioned Mr. Baker would hold him to a single. After a bunt, Brody Gronwald steps in, fell behind in the count 0-2. Didn't agree with the strike that made it 2 strikes. He comes right back and adjusts. Adversity, be thy enemy. Right here, staying with it, singling and scoring. Braden Bennett at that point made it 2-1 Illini West. Tanner Anderson was, for lack of a better word, an absolute bulldog. Not just one of those cute bulldogs, but one with like the slobber coming from his jaw. Just that good today. Tanner going after it and helping Illini West pull off yet another upset. Are you kidding me? The Chargers have come to life. They win 2-1 over Macomb. Up next for them, the sectional road will go through Monmouth and a showdown with Brimfield. That comes up, my friends, on Wednesday. Actually, check that Thursday at 4:30. Tell you what, Todd Porter's team really coming back strong, showing that resiliency that Brody Gronwald was endemic of today.
Brody's the kind of kid that is always going to battle. He'll never give a bat away, and I knew he wasn't going to right there. I put the runner in motion thinking that even if he got thrown out at third base there, that I would still have Brody leading off the next inning. And it just happened to work out that it made it so there was no play at the plate right there. So it kind of worked out well for us on both ends of it.
I was a little frustrated with the call, but I had 2 strikes on me, and I just sat back and tried to do something with it. Just put the ball in play somewhere. It's been fun. I mean, the last month we weren't looking like we would even come close to regional championship, but we've come a long way.
You know, as a testament to those young men, they never quit working hard in practice every day. They never, they didn't complain. They kept their heads up and kept working hard and kept chipping away. And finally, the pieces fell into place. And this regional, we played 3 outstanding games in a row, and hopefully we can stay on a roll here.
The news gets better in 2A as well. QD with the upset win over Rochester. The super sophomore Zach Bailey, 1 hitter today as QD beats Rochester, advances on back home to their own sectional where they will play Metro East Lutheran. That coming up at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. Well, there's a very compelling argument of Player of the Year to be made these days for the outstanding route junior, Nick Lonergan, who entered today batting better than 520, I should say, at the plate, and also belting today to start off his day, a 2-run homer at Lewiston's expense in the first inning. That was his 6th of the season. He was also pitching very well as well, using Uncle Charlie to good effect right here. Made it 2-0 at that point, bottom of the 5th. How about this? Nice piece of hitting right here by Alex Johnson, but his base running makes Barbaro's untimely demise look graceful by comparison. I didn't mean to do that. I like Alex, but that was just ugly. Made it back to first base at that point. That sets up the table for Ryan Lindsay. That is a double for an RBI, extends the route lead out to 3-0. Lewiston has an army. You have an army. You know what? Route, we got a Hulk. And that's Colin Sheehan right here with 2 aboard. Chop, chop at this point. Makes it a 6-0 lead in favor of the Route Rockets. The Indians trying to rally in this game in the 6th. Bases loaded, 1 out. It's sack fly time right here. You know what, though? This was really almost a really nice defensive play at the other end of it because Colin Sheehan's going to try to make the tag at home on the guy coming home. Good throw, just a little bit late out of the glove. Sheehan can't get it. Would there be a rally? Would Lewiston be able to come all the way back? No way. Nick Lonergan unfazed in this one. I think his ERA is like 1.26. Hasn't lost a game. Was 8-0 coming in. He would induce a 6-3 double play to end it. It's the 5th straight regional title for the Rockets, who are just darn good. They're moving on and rolling on into the Lewiston sectional, where their opponent up next will be Pawnee, who Route already beat this season in a 4-3 showdown. Nick Lonergan was on the hill for that one, so should be a fun rematch. Meanwhile, at Griggsville, Perry and Liberty showdown in Liberty, this was the game that had tongues wagging all over the Tri-States today. Started off with some defense. Brock Rumpel behind the plate, showing off his inner Yadier Molina right there, gunning the would-be base stealer. Dryden Craven also picking up the slack on the hill today and looking really good while doing it. The strikeout right here, complete game 5 hitter for that young man. Tornadoes up 1-0 in the 4th, and they're going to come at you. Kendall Hannett was just a moving man today, moving runners around, moving himself around. That's an RBI rip. More Kendall Hannett because he's not done, just helped compiling runs for his team today. Number 30 just working it with the bat, having the day of his life. More good stuff right here as he chops one right down the first base line. That brings home a runner to score. Dryden Craven going to get into the act as well. He was 4 for 5 at the plate today, including this RBI scorer right here. And then Isaac Whitaker's going to lend an RBI triple to the cause. Griggsville Perry with a stunning and emphatic upset today of a really good Liberty team that just really didn't have its good stuff today. Final count this one sees Griggsville Perry win 13-1. Up next for them, a showdown with Delavan. That comes up on Wednesday, the 23rd at 6:30 p.m. And we're just getting warmed up here on Overtime. Up next, we put the rising fortunes of Canton, Missouri and Jacksonville, Illinois baseball's programs under the microscope.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar, brought to you by Con Communications.
Well, the postseason baseball fun begins in earnest Monday in the Show Me State with Sweet 16 action, and for the Canton Tigers, that means a 2.5-hour bus trip to Lynn County with a state quarterfinals berth at stake. That certainly ups the degree of difficulty, but truth be told, Brett Neiman's Tigers look like our best bet for a shot at Diamond Championship glory this spring, as anyone who saw them dominate the district can attest.
We've all played together all our lives, so we all know what all our strengths and weaknesses are, so that kind of helps when you got a team like this.
When you outscore your 3 district foes by a combined 31-1 margin, there really aren't many weaknesses to mask.
Yeah, our confidence is really high considering that we're holding teams to 0 runs, 1 run, and we're getting up in the double digits in runs, and we're just producing on defense and offense.
Well, that's actually been the key thing is these last few games, first inning scores, we've been putting up, crooked numbers everywhere in the first innings, and if we can just keep doing that the rest of the season, I don't see why we aren't going state.
Having a lineup like we do, knowing that our 1 through 9 guys can hit, and then we got guys off the bench and come off and have a big role in the hitting level of the game.
Basically, most of us just try to get on base, and we know that we got bats behind us that we just know that are going to hit us in. And we know that the bottom of the lineup is just as good as the top, just getting hits, getting walks, any way they can get on base.
Scarier still, the likely return of Garrett Serban to the hill this week as the team's de facto ace makes Canton even stronger.
I've got to imagine by the same token, you got to be anxious and chomping at the bit to get back out there on the mound, and if you get a win, it looks like that opportunity's out there.
Oh yeah, and I've been actually coming up this week is I'm hopefully going to be back on the mound this weekend, but honestly, I think we can get it done without me out there, really. Lucas and Hoeing have been pitching great lately.
Have you allowed yourself to think far enough ahead? There's potential if you guys continue to roll that you could well be playing this thing all the way down to the end of it. Have you allowed yourself to get excited yet, or you're not looking that far forward?
Well, yeah, everyone that wins the district championship, they're always looking up to, yeah, there's a possibility we can make it to state, but I think our team's just trying to do it one step at a time.
Well, this was the last day of the regular season in Illinois big school baseball, and as such, a window of opportunity for the Jacksonville Crimsons. If they could sweep a Twinville on the road at Quincy High, the Crimsons would set a new program record for regular season victories with 26. First game, Crimsons win behind El Presidente, Andrew Jackson, 6-2. We got highlights of the second game, not many of them, but this pass ball would end up helping right here PJ Moore's team extend its lead in the 5th inning over the Blue Devils to 13-1. The Devils just trying to stave off the 10-run rule at that point. Blake Hance, though. Blake Hance with great hands. That almost rhymes, but it certainly works right here. The pitcher making it stand up, looking for his 8th victory of the season, induces the pop-up, and that will seal the deal on victory number 26. Banner day for the Crimsons, who really have broken out nicely as a program.
We've come a long way in the last 6 years, and we've worked really hard, and we've changed the expectations and got the guys believing, and it's been a great feeling.
Our confidence has been great, and we're just playing ball like we can. And, we have the talent, and we have the confidence, and we're playing great baseball right now.
And to see our hard work pay off, and we've all bought into what Coach is saying, and it's obvious that he knows what he's talking about, and it's working for us, and we're really excited about how the way things are going.
Commitment. They've focused on baseball in the summer, in the fall, in the off season, in the weight room, getting lessons in the off season, pitching and hitting, and so forth. And I got a very talented younger group of sophomores, and they've been a big catalyst in our success.
Well, congratulations to Daniel Hayashi and Jack O'Connor from Quincy High School. We already knew they were going to state. Today, they take second place in the sectional doubles over in Springfield. Congratulations to them. Hannibal sectional champions today. One of the toughest sectionals in track. The Hannibal boys win it. They're moving on to state. The girls, not such a great showing today, but we can tell you the boys got sectional championships individually from Christian Locke in the pole vault, Praven McBride in the long jump, Jacob Crenshaw in the disc, and Connor Brown in the shot. Also, congratulations to Bowling Green's Kylie Conroe, who won the sectional title in the triple jump. Also, some college baseball today. John Wood's quest to win the Region 24 tournament took a hit today as they lose to Heartland 9-1. Blazers are still alive. They'll play the winner of tonight's Parkland-Danville game tomorrow. We'll have the highlights of that one for you and more if the Blazers move on. Also, Western Illinois a winner today on the road over South Dakota State. We'll have more overtime coming up after this. Time now to introduce our latest Con Communication Connection nominee for the month of May, which, may I remind you, affords you, our viewers, a chance not only to vote, but to win. Every week here on Overtime, we show you the best connection of the week, and at the end of the month, we ask you to vote for the best of the lot. And if you happen to be one of the people who cast a ballot for the winner at ConnectTriStates.com, you become eligible to win a wonderful prize package from Con Communication. We've had 2 already in May. How about one from today? And it was a thing of beauty, courtesy of Payson Seymour's Kristen Luce. Just an absolutely killed home run by that young lady to help power her team to a regional championship victory over Liberty. Kristen Luce, your latest nominee for the Con Communication Connection of May. Currently, she will be up against another massive home run, this courtesy of Illini West Evan McGaffey, and the high-jumping heroics of one Alex Blickhand from Menden Unity. Go online at the end of the month, vote for your favorite, and again, you have a chance to win.